Greetings, welcome to this new video about Kirchhoff's laws, KCL and KVL. Solve the problem number 9. Given the electric circuit with R1 is 6 ohms, R2 3 ohms, R3 7 ohms, R4 1 ohm and R5 4 ohms, and we have two current sources, IA 5 amps, IB 3 amps and a voltage source Vs 5 volt. The question now is to calculate the current through each resistor using Kirchhoff's laws. Let's go to solution. We start already. Step number 1 is to choose the direction of the currents. This is I1 is the current through the resistor R1, I2 is the current through the resistor R2, I3 is the current through the resistor R3, and I4 is the current through the resistor R4 and R5. We can see here in this node that IA entering the node, I1 is entering the node. That means the current flow here is I1 plus IA, and in this node we see that I1 plus IA entering the node and I2 leaving the node. That means that this current is I1 plus IA minus I2, and here in this node we have that I3 leaving the node, I1 plus IA minus I2 entering the node. That means that this current is I1 plus IA minus I2 minus I3. After we finish step number 1, we go to step number 2 is to identify the polarity of each resistor. We know that the current flow always from the high potential to the low potential. That means this is positive and negative of R1, positive and negative of R2, positive and negative of R3, and positive and negative of R4, and finally positive and negative of R5. After we finish step 2, we go now to step number 3 to apply Kirchhoff's current law KCL. We can see here at node A that I1 plus IA minus I2 minus I3 entering the node, and IB also entering the node, and I4 leaving the node. Then we can write KCL at A, I1 plus IA minus I2 minus I3 plus IB is equal to I4. After we finish applying Kirchhoff's current law KCL, we go to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law KVL. Before we start applying KVL, we need to choose first the different loops we are going to use here. Those are the different loops we are going to use. This is loop number 1, and this is loop number 2, and this is loop number 3. In loop 1 we can write negative Vs plus R3I3 minus R2I2 is equal to 0. We obtain negative 5 minus 3I2 plus 7I3 is equal to 0. We go now to loop number 2. We have here R2I2 R1I1 plus R2I2 is equal to 0. We obtain 3I2 plus 6I1 is equal to 0. We go now to loop number 3. We can write negative R3I3 plus R4I4 plus R5I4. We obtain finally negative 7I3 plus 5I4 is equal to 0. After we finish applying KCL and KVL, we obtain 4 equations with 4 unknowns. We still only need to solve those equations in order to find I1, I2, I3, and I4. Let's start first with 3. We have 3I2 plus 6I1 is equal to 0. That means I1 is equal to negative 0.5 I2. We write I1 in terms of I2. This is equation A. We go now to equation 2. We have negative 5 minus 3I2 plus 7I3 Then we obtain I3 is equal to 5 plus 3I2 over 7, and we have here I3 in terms of I2, and I will call this equation B. We go now to equation 4. We have negative 7I3 plus 5I4 is equal to 0. That means I4 is equal to 7 over 5 I3, and I will call this equation C. By replacing B in C, we obtain I4 is equal to 7 over 5 multiplied by 5 plus 3 I2 over 7. We obtain finally I4 1 plus 0.6 I2, and we can see here that we write I4 also in terms of I2, and I will call this equation D. We go now to equation 1. We have I1 plus 8 minus I2 minus I3 is equal to I4. By replacing A, B, C, and D in 1, we obtain equation written only in terms of I2. If you could continue simplifying this equation, we obtain finally that 17.7 I2 is equal to 44. That means I2 is 44 over 17.7 is equal to 249 amps. We go back to A. We have I1 is negative 0.5 I2. That means I1 is equal to negative 1.24 amps. We go to B. I3 is 5 plus 3 I2 over 7. We obtain I3 178 amps. We go to D. We have I4 is 1 plus 0.6 I2. That means I4 is equal to 249 amps. After we finish calculation, we made simulation using SPICE simulator in order to verify our calculation. Let's go see together the simulation using SPICE simulator. Here is the circuit made by SPICE simulator. We can see here this is R1, this is the current source IA, this is the resistor R2, this is the voltage source, the resistor R3, the current source IB, and we have R4 and R5. Let's go to analysis, DC analysis, table of DC results, and we can see here that this current through the resistor R1 is 24 amps. The current through the resistor R2 is 249 amps. The current through the resistor R3 is 178, and the current through the resistor R4 and R5 is 249 amps. Those values are exactly the same value we have done by calculation. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have any question, do not hesitate to contact me by email or leave a comment under this video, and I will reply you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time, and bye bye.